Welcome to the July 21st, 2026 regular council meeting for Town of Cobalt. I'd like to call to order disclosure of pecuniary interest. Do we have any? Okay, thank you. Deputations we have tonight discussing the head frame is Maggie Wilson from the Cobalt Historical Society, about the pan silver head frame, and Mayor Dan Claroux from Coleman Township will also be adding what he has learned in the last few days. So if you'd like to come up, speak to us, we'd really appreciate it.
This is not Dan Claroux.
It doesn't look like Dan, but that's okay. We'll let Dan come up next.
This is right about the trail manager for the Cobalt Historical Society.
Certainly.
Thank you for arranging the time for me to come and meet with you tonight. Our purpose here is twofold. The first item we'd like to do is request that Council pause the scheduled demolition of the pan silver head frame, and that we work together to evaluate new opportunities that have emerged since the demolition decision was made. First of all, I want to acknowledge that the head frame and the property are indeed owned by the Town of Cobalt, and that Council has both the authority and the responsibility to manage municipal assets in the best interests of the community. We ask that Council consider a collaboration with your partners before taking an irreversible step. And I use the word partners because for about 30 years, that's what the Cobalt Historical Society has considered the town, and actually Coleman Township as well. We are in a joint venture partnership to work on the Heritage Silver Trail. The Cobalt Historical Society is a volunteer, and I want to stress that word, nonprofit incorporation. Back in 1999, under the direction from both municipalities, we were formed to develop, build, and maintain the trail, which was a dream of the towns at the time. But since, excuse me, the town wasn't eligible for considerable funding that was available, we had to come in and do that job, apply for funds, manage the projects, and then build the projects and maintain them afterwards. And through all those years, both the town and township helped in kind with maintenance, hauling, grading roads, brushing trails, etc. Now, as for the pan silver head frame, it was already on Silver Street before we got here on the scene. It was donated to the town from Buck Township by the mining company that owned it at the time. And it has served as one of the most recognizable landmarks on the trail and has been seen by thousands of visitors from around the world. And I call it a tourist attraction because that's exactly, it was put there to lure people out of Coleman Township downtown. People were inclined to just stay on the trails going through the Nipissing and the LaRose and all those sites back there, but may bypass the town altogether. So the town felt it would be a great idea to have a monument downtown, and people stop, take a look, and then check out what else is in the area. So 2003, that was during the Silver Centennial. With donations and grants, the Cobalt Historical Society spent about $60,000 to build an office at the Pan Silver site, and we renamed it then the Willett Greenmiller Memorial Site. Now, at this time, the idea was it was going to be a resource visitor center, public washroom. It would be our office, and in the summer, it would be staffed by summer students during the tourist season. 20 years later, though, the only use of the space was for our board meetings. So now, as we all know, the issue at hand is in 2023, the town raised concerns about the building safety. The wooden beams at the back were deteriorating. Staff asked us to hold our meetings elsewhere, and as a matter of fact, they allowed us use of the room next door here. And that was much appreciated. And at that time, it was our understanding that we'd return to the building across the road, to the pan silver head frame, after the wooden legs were repaired or replaced or whatever was decided. Now, I want to talk about the legs. Well, actually, I want Ryder to talk to you about the legs because there may be some possible confusion in terminology.
It seems to me that decisions are being made by the town of Cobalt without fully understanding subject and naming the head. There is a big difference between a working head frame and the one we have. A working head frame requires support legs, whereas ours does not. So the support legs on our head frame are strictly ornamental. And if anything, the head frame supports the legs, not the other way around. On a non-working head frame, the legs provide no structural support for the head frame and can be removed without any negative impact on the stability of the head frame. A good analogy would be a house with a porch. If the porch is unsafe, you can either replace the porch or tear it down. It would make no sense to tear down the house because the porch is unsafe. Similarly, it makes no sense to tear down the head frame because the legs are unsafe. In any serious discussions the Cobalt Historical Society has had about the head frame, the best option considered has always been to remove the legs and at some later date as funds become available to replace them. I would like to point out that since the town has set aside money to demolish the head frame, which is a far more expensive option than just removing the legs, you have more than enough money to pay for the removal of the legs. By just removing the legs, the head frame would be made safe, and Cobalt taxpayers would save themselves some money. Through fundraising, the legs could be replaced at a later date, quite likely at no cost to the taxpayer. We would like to see the legs eventually replaced simply to make the head frame look more authentic.
Thank you. So at the end, okay. So now we're back in 2023, and since then we've consistently supported finding practical solutions, having conversations with our liaison with the intention of the information got back to council or with staff. I had frequent conversations, not frequent, but frequent enough conversations with the town manager at the time. We shared information about Parks Canada cost sharing program. We indicated our willingness to contribute financially if we could, and we can, I think, but of course that needs our board's approval. And we remain committed to working collaboratively with the town. So now we're up to the end of June 2026 when we heard that the headlines coming down. And that was a complete surprise to us, as neither Cobalt Historical Society or Coleman Township, the two partners in the three-way partnership, had been part of any discussion regarding that decision. So to recap our request, the Historical Society asks Council to pause the demolition and to please reestablish lines of communication with their partners and hold talks to find a practical solution. A pause would allow us to explore available funding opportunities and partnerships that may reduce or eliminate the financial burden on the town and taxpayers. And since the news became public, offers of support and possible avenues of funding have since come forward. Mr. Chitteroni has pledged up to $10,000. There is a fund with the NOHFC that offers up to 90% of eligible costs with a cap at $200,000. I have submitted, a very kind friend of the Cobalt Historical Society, I don't have it with me, a very kind friend of the Cobalt Historical Society prepared a rough draft, lots of details to work out in there, but I submitted a copy to Pat and to Jamie to pass on to the rest of the members. And Mayor Clue has some good news from a corporate sponsor.
Well, first, thank you. Thank you to the Historical Society, Township of Coleman, to Charlie Angus, and numerous other residents and non-residents to take a lead role in the preservation of the Pan Silver head frame. So the Pan Silver head frame is not just only a structure, it's a monument. It's a monument to our past history, both in Cobalt and in Cobalt Township. My main objective with this is to work with Agnico Eagle to secure funding in order to remove the stipulates. And so far, the answer is yes, they will help us out. But there's always a thing, what's the cost? So we're working on it. I had someone today, they give us a number, which I'm not at liberty right now to disclose, because he hasn't put it in writing, but he will. And it's very reasonable. That's just to remove the stipulates. I'll be talking to Agnico Pro most likely tomorrow. I can reach him and he'll answer the phone. And it's interesting, he called me up on Sunday, which makes it even a better relationship that yes, he does want to help out with this venture over here. My request was to get an engineer to come in and take a look at the structure. We know the stipulates they should be gone, they're removed. And like Reiner said, there's no effect to the structure itself. So we'll get an engineer to advise on the stability of the structure itself. There's a bit of material on the bottom of one of the timbers, which doesn't appear to be nothing major, but we'll let the engineers decide. And to advise, I'd like to recommend or advise that the Historical Society take a lead role in this. Get this thing done as soon as possible. Flip it over to the society. I've got some very good people on the board. I ask you is that tonight who's on the board of directors? Brian Dobbs, Rich Holsworth, other mining people, and you can't get better than that. So this is a most important decision, and the Pan Silver head frame must be saved from demolition. The head frame has become a landmark, a mining museum, a classic theater, a stock exchange, or what they call the Fraser House, and even the tea room. It's a former head frame and a well-producing mine. So they're like, everything fits into like peas in a pod. So in the next few days, I'll be discussing with the undertaking with Agnico, and I'll get back to our mayor, and she can relay the information as we go into or the Historical Society will relay the information, or both. So please continue to have some constructive decisions in regards to it's a fast-moving thing, and I understand, we're going to be in a lame duck pretty soon. So hopefully there's no dollars coming out of Cobalt to this. It's all going to be taken care of. And I think the lame duck is August 21st or something like that. So we've got a bit of time, not much, but we've got a bit of time to, may have to call a special meeting. Once I talk to Agnico, let's get moving on it. But in any event, it's a project that has to be preserved, and the not only eyes of Ontario and around surrounding, or there's people around the world watching what's happening here. The word is out. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much, and the worship has my phone number, and she can call me up at any time, or if you can't get a hold of me, get a hold of Chris, and he'll. But one more thing, with the Cobalt Historical Society taking, not control, is not the word I want to use, to take charge of this project over here and get it going, I think it'd be wise if we turn around and give the whole thing to the Cobalt Historical Society. They're a nonprofit. They can get extra funding, probably more than what Cobalt and Coleman can, just by their nature of the not-for-profit. And I even go as far as give them the head frame for $2. Give them the land to go with it. It's not costing you anything. You want to dispose of some of these things that cost you money? Well, there's a good way to do it. And they'll be maintained by very good people in the future. So, thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
I'd just like to wrap up and recap. We recognize the council's responsibility to ensure public safety and to manage municipal finances responsibly. We share the same goals. Over the past few weeks, we've heard from our members, residents, heritage organizations, and supporters from across Canada and beyond. Many have come forward with practical assistance, and I personally have been very grateful for that. It's been extremely helpful. Today, given the community interest and expressions of support, we know other solutions are out there. Let's work together to determine whether we can make the building useful again without placing an additional burden on the taxpayer. And let's give the head frame a few more decades on Silver Street. Thank you.
There's one more thing I should mention is that the main intent right now with Agnico is to remove the hazard stipulates. They have not said no to replacing the beams, stiff legs. So, you know, we're talking with engineers, is it wiser to put wood? Is it wise to put steel? Those things. So we'll get some answers to that. And I think by the looks of it, it's very positive that they will probably do the whole thing. So it's a big load off everybody's shoulders, and we got some good people here to take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Council. Comments, questions?
I have a just a
Councilor
little
LaFleur?
statement. I appreciate I'd like to keep it to, okay, I don't want to see it go. And our biggest fear was that one of those things fall. And being that they are rotted really bad. And every time we put up a fence, it's only a plastic little fence. It's not withstanding the people, because the people just walk over it.
Right.
So the danger is there. And the biggest danger is if somebody gets hit with one of those beams, it's on town property. We're responsible. And that means Cobalt goes under. It's not going to help Cobalt at all that way.
I understand that. Thank you.
But no, I appreciate you stepping forward and doing this, because I would really like to keep it. Thank you.
I just wanted my appreciation. I've been following your group for about 6.5 years now. It's extremely interesting, and I'm so happy that you do this. You do excellent work. I look forward to your posts from all of you. And yeah, it's about the cost. And with the quote that we got to do this, it's going to be a 13.5% tax increase to get this thing repaired, right? So that's what we went by, and we know the safety issues. Rainey pointed out, and it's dangerous if a kid goes up there, or a teen, like a daredevil goes up and starts climbing on that in a fault, like, we're in a lot of trouble, right? I'd say you don't want that situation. So we need to get this fixed quite soon, and hopefully all this fundraising comes to light, right? Great. Thank you.
I agree with everything that everybody's been saying, and you're kind of preaching to the converted. I love that idea of saving that head frame. It contributes a great deal to making that little enclosure even more significant. Brings a lot of attention. So I think it's a great idea. I thank you for the presentations. I think a no-brainer at this point to say we should abandon any idea of tearing down the frame, and we'll certainly look to you to follow through. My question would be, for Your Honor, how do you want to handle that? Shall we make a motion at this meeting, or? I would suggest, the only thing I can think of, we have in the budget a line on line 55, property standards. It reads head frame demo
27,984. I would think perhaps a motion to rescind demo would clear out anything I've seen the council has ever voted in favor of a demolition.
Mhm.
So that might be a really simple, quick way to solve that. And I was also going to suggest we install security fencing, but from what I'm hearing, that may not be necessary if they're going to move as quickly as they say. So
Okay,
that would be my recommendation.
Councillor Ward, Councillor Hughes, anything to add?
Nope, I agree.
I agree. Third presentation.
Okay, and first of all, before we go on with your suggestion, I'd just like to thank this Historical Society. I've been working with them on the trail from when I heard Leo Oziaki say, I have a dream. That far back, that takes us back to 1985 or 1986 when we started out. And this group has proven how much they can fundraise for the trail and trail expansion and everything else. They've done a fantastic job. And we knew when we brought this up, there was going to create a furor. And I'd just like to say, we got the all the petition here, and the special one I'd like to say is 169 residents supported this position. So I think that, yeah, that's is that all the list? Thank you. Yeah. That says something, because when is the last time you've seen 169 Cobalt residents put up their hand and say yes? So I'd like to commend that.
Elections.
Elections, yeah. Would you like to put forward your motion,
Sure.
Councillor Wilcox?
I would move that line 55 property standards in our budget rescind the word demo.
Sorry? Excuse me.
Didn't even call them.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we have to pause on that. I'm relatively new sitting up here. I only sub occasionally so far. So first of all, we've got to go through some of our standard starting, and then we will entertain the motion. Does that sound right?
Pardon me?
Does that sound right? Go through to,
Answer yes.
yeah, to the end of number 3. Okay, so first of all, then we'll continue on with the meeting a bit while he writes that out. Whoosh.
Sorry.
They need breaks on
Dismiss,
the-
I think, like, dismiss.
Pardon?
Dismiss.
Okay.
Thanks, Maggie.
Yes, thank you, Maggie. And thank you, Dan. Dan has the more current contacts than I do. So we'll continue on with the meeting and get to the point where Jamie, our manager, says that's where we can put the motion in. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So adoption of the meeting agenda, and, oh, that's last time's minutes. Keep looking. So adoption of meeting agenda, moved by, okay, Councilor Leclerc. Seconded by, okay, Councilor Hughes, all in favor?
Close the crowd.
Okay.
We might change our mind. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay. Now, and on to the adoption of the previous council minutes. We'll just give everyone a moment, those that are leaving.
Should be made to sit right to the end.
And you are welcome to stay through the whole meeting. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to number 6. Adoption of the previous council minutes, and mover and seconder, please. Councillor LaFleur. Councillor Ward. And any discussion on those minutes? Yeah. I'm taking a quick look there. Okay. You see what you were looking for, Councillor Starchuck?
Yeah.
Okay. All okay? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Now we're on to staff reports and draft motion. Be it resolved that council accept the staff reports as presented. And a mover and seconder, please. Okay, Councillor Ward and Councillor Starchuck. And let's take a look at those. This is the bylaw enforcement report from 2026, from May 2026. Just trying to find it in here. Do we have a copy of that?
That's on.
The bylaw enforcement report?
This one, Pat,
Pages?
2 pages, yeah.
2 pages, right at the top, it says monthly report.
Yeah, that's right.
Should be first in the file.
My file got moved all around. That's the final file. Maybe if I go through the minutes, eh? Thank you. Okay. Is there anything that you wish to highlight in this for us?
No, it's pretty self.
Okay. Our bylaw officer goes around on a schedule that we've set out for him, taking a look at properties. Not to be fussy, but looking for properties that are piled up with garbage or old vehicles, things like this that are totally against property standards. So that's the first one.
Oh, I'm just talking to myself.
The second report is about live streaming of council meetings and their report, and we will discuss this, bring up that discussion later. And the third report is then how to fill the vacancy on council and mayor. So, and I think perhaps we should deal with this report first, so you can explain. And then
The mayor one?
and then go ahead with the draft motion on that. We have a draft motion here to begin with. Whereas the clerk of the town of Cobalt did receive on Saturday, July 11th, 2026, a letter of resignation from Angela Adsed. And whereas as per the Municipal Act and the town of Cobalt's council vacancy policy, in order to begin the process of filling the vacancies, council must declare the seat vacant. Therefore, be it resolved that the council does hereby recognize the letter of resignation submitted by the clerk, and further that Deputy Mayor Pat Anderson to act as mayor until the vacancy in the office for mayor town of Cobalt is filled permanently. Could I have a mover and seconder on that one? Okay, Councillor LaFleur, and who else was it? Councillor Starchuck. And this is perhaps where, okay, we're just declaring it vacant. And I would like to say that we have to thank Mayor Adsed for all the work she has done. Yeah.
We should 8.2 to declare it. We're only under.
Yeah, I know. This is the letter of resignation, first of all, we have to accept, and I'd just like to give her my thanks for all the work she's done. She was on council before and then as mayor, and she has put body and soul into this. And unfortunately, she has been told medically she can do no more, so. Could we vote on this then, accepting her resignation? All in favor? Thank you. Now, whereas the seat of the mayor, from staff report 2026-07-2102, whereas the seat of the mayor has been declared as vacant by council, and whereas section 4.2 of the council vacancy bylaw 2024-40 allows council to fill the vacancy by appointing any member of council wishing to be considered for the appointment. Therefore, be it resolved that the council of Cobalt does hereby agree that the vacancy in the office of mayor be filled by appointing a current member of council, and further that all mayors of council who wish to be considered for appointment must notify the clerk in writing along with the required forms by noon of August 11th, 2026. And if you would fill us in on all the ins and outs of this for the staff report. Now.
Yeah, so once you fill the vacancy of the mayor, in your next council meeting, you'll declare the council seat vacant. And there's same as a nomination form, so you
Okay.
members of council want to come to the office and put their intentions in writing, and we'll bring it to the next council meeting.
Okay. So is that for mayor and a
No.
possible new council member, or?
Just the mayor, and then you'll declare whoever becomes the mayor of that council seat vacant.
Okay, so we would do that now, deciding a mayor, or?
No, you're
No.
just declaring the mayor's
Declare.
seat vacant.
Okay, thank you.
Your next meeting,
Next meeting, we will decide on who will become the mayor.
And as far as I know from what I read, we don't need to fill the
no, because
position till the election.
Yeah.
we'll
Because we're too
be,
close to the election.
it'll be the 90 days before the next election, so you don't have to fill the council seat.
So I don't know whether you could hear that. Once we fill this position formally, we will be within that 90-day period before an election. So then we will just go with 5 council members and a mayor at that point. And that's legally what we're allowed to do, so. Okay. So can I have a mover and a seconder on 8.2? Okay, Councillor Hughes and Councillor Starchuck. All in favor of accepting this? Thank you. Carried. Okay. And that one. And then let's look at, okay. The staff reports, variance, DSAP, draft motion, be it resolved, the council accepts the items for council information as presented. And moved by and seconder. Okay. Councillor Hughes and Councillor LaFleur. Now, in these two to be discussed is staff report, the variance report for the second quarter. So in other words, first half of the year, and that's financial variance, how we're doing financially, following the budget. And then the second report is the DSAP first quarterly report. Could you go through the variance, since we have lots of members of this here,
Public.
of the public here? just about where we're at. You have a copy of that here? I had it there. I know I had it in my original. Because I happily. Oh, there we go.
I have a copy.
You got a copy there? Okay. Yep. Okay.
So for the most part, we're doing a really good budget. Our insurance came in quite a bit higher than what we budgeted for, what we anticipated. That's one of the bigger hits to the budget at this point. For most departments, we are exactly where we need to be, with the exception probably of public works and a few line items that they're over budget on. The worst one being the repairs and maintenance account. Our track list had some a lot of work done to it, about 25,000 if I remember correctly. Earlier this year, that was not accounted for. That wasn't what we expected. Other than that, we're pretty much on budget everywhere. I would say we're doing pretty good at this point. We've sold more lots than we anticipated selling, so we're doing really, really good there. Most of our revenue accounts are better than expected at this point, but a lot of them are heavy on the start of the year and then taper off towards the end of the year, which is why it's kind of showing a better revenue. But we're doing pretty good.
Thank you, Cassie. She's the one that looks after the numbers. We would not get anywhere without her, believe me. So, okay. May I have a vote? Oh, sorry.
I'm just curious, you'd mentioned things are looking a little bit better than they had. Are we seeing any funds that are going to be available to go into reserves this year? I'm thinking, we haven't paid a public works superintendent for most of the year, so are those monies accumulating and able?
No, because you're paying for additional inflows at the moment.
Patrick Center.
Yeah.
So that would work out.
Yeah, that's right.
But I see what you're thinking.
I also don't like to say that. I'd like to say yes because I feel like that's too soon.
Yes. I think crossing your fingers it would be nice if it could happen.
I think there's a big possibility, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna hold off.
Mhm.
Promising anything.
Okay. So is there any other discussion? We have a vote to accept the, okay. All in favor? Thank you. And let's move on. Okay, bylaws and agreements. Next bylaw is bylaw 2026-22. To enter an agreement with Pete Gilbo, who had been our longtime bylaw officer. And he and our current bylaw officer are now going to be splitting the job somewhat. Do I understand it? You got the
Yeah.
floor.
The bylaw officer that was supposed to work full-time has a conflict of interest.
Mhm.
So he's taking a leave of absence until the conflict of interest is resolved. So Pete's filling in. So it's basically the same contract.
Yeah.
Pete was always been on our books as the bylaw officer because he was his backup in the wintertime.
Mhm.
So once Mr. Bishop gets that resolved with his conflict, then he'll be back hopefully in a few minutes.
Mhm. Okay.
And then Pete will still fill in during the winter.
Okay, that's good.
So we always have bylaw enforcement,
Thank you.
which we need.
Mhm. So Draft motion, be it resolved that bylaw number 2026-22, being a bylaw to enter into an agreement with Pete Gilbo for the provision of bylaw enforcement services within the town of Cobalt, be taken as read a first, second, and third time this 21st day of July 2026. And further, that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. Mover and seconder, Councillor Lafleur, Councillor Wilcox. Do you have your hand up?
Sure.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Okay, are any other unfinished business that's I don't know of yet? I don't think so. Okay. On to new business, the schedule of accounts. Let's take a look at those.
Could I ask at which point we were going to do my motion?
Yes. Right,
New business.
right. Where to go?
Oh, I thought
Here?
you were gonna do this
So
in
right.
business.
Pardon?
That's fine.
Oh, under new business?
I'll put it in new business.
Okay, so we're gonna do schedule of accounts, so
We'll do
let's,
the accounts, then we'll go to new business.
okay. Thank
I
you.
may have to read it because my handwriting is rather poor. I'll read it for you.
Okay, so 12.1, schedule of accounts. And this piece of paper is all the money that that have been spent over the months before. Be it resolved, the council receives the following schedules as presented. Schedule number 2026-07 in the amount of $190,535.05. Keeping a town going is not cheap. So mover and seconder. Councillor Lafleur and Wilcox. Any questions on it? Do you have? Councillor Starchuk?
Just a comment, it's a lot better than last month.
Yes.
Just a little.
Yes, I was joking last month. We all were. Councillor Ward?
Just simple question. What's the July 2026 fire dispatch? Tell us.
That's for your 911 service.
Oh, yeah.
They're the dispatch, Tim's dispatch looks after this area.
Mhm.
The OPP don't have nothing to do with that.
Well, they
No.
have their own agreement. They
Mhm.
would pay that's just our agreement.
Yeah.
And all the fire departments share in that service in the area.
That's right, yeah. You pointed that one out last month too,
Yeah,
didn't you? Councillor Ward was away. Good catch there, though. As new councillors, some of the things that come up, it's like, what's that? Okay, everything, any other discussion on it or questions? Yeah, all in favor? Carried? Now,
I'll read this for you because it's
okay.
a bit of a mixed match in my handwriting.
Mhm.
Be it resolved, the council approve rescinding line 55 of the budget property standards in the amount of $27,984 under the head frame demolition.
Mhm. Mover and seconder? Oh, sorry.
Are you removing the 27,000 from the budget?
Just for the
I
demo.
was removing the word demo,
So we're done?
Just demo.
Not the money itself.
not the money, no. In case we, yes.
Okay, so council approve rescinding line, rescind head frame demo in the budget.
Mark that. Demo. Okay.
And just to speak to that, I received a message from staff saying that it was the passing of that budget and the words head frame demo that said, was interpreted to mean council had approved the demolition of the head frame.
We had
The last open meeting we had was, I think, June 2025, and council was to give direction. So I don't think we've ever had a vote on actually demolishing the head frame, other than the oblique reference in the budget. So by removing that, I think it becomes an open question, and we can now deal with the information we've received tonight.
And seconder?
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Councilor Lefleur.
Mhm. Okay. Councillor Lafleur. All in favor? Carried. Sign the first one of these and the rest later. Okay. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So for mayor's report, basically, again, once again, I'd like to thank Angela Adshead for all the time and effort that she has given us. And secondly, I would like to thank all the people that took an interest in this and came out and have let council know their will. So, and especially to thank those volunteers that worked so hard on the trail and developing new stuff as well. So that's all I'd like to say on that. Okay, and now we're moving into closed meeting, so let me read the motion before everyone gets up and runs away. And be it resolved, the council convene in closed session as per section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended in order to address a matter pertaining to subsection 2D, labor relations or employee negotiations, and clerk recruitment. So can I have a mover and seconder on that? Okay, Councillor Ward and Councillor Starchuk. All in favor? Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.